Hey guys, and welcome to my latest blog here on Zenny62 Media. My name is Jessica Dwyer, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jessica Dwyer. Find me on Fangirl Magazine, and also we have our radio broadcast and podcast and YouTube channel. So I am here to talk about the latest bombshell. No pun intended to those who know about the bombshells of Ruby Rose leaving Batwoman. Now, I don't know if you know the history of the character or history of the show, but this is a big deal, especially since this is the first season, and they are going to be recasting her. The character is going to be recast. Not sure who they're going to get to replace Ruby Rose. But this show, if you don't know the background behind it, had a hell of a lot of bad stuff happen. Just massive stuff. It kind of started with San Diego Comic-Con when they announced the show, and Ruby Rose's face was plastered all over San Diego Comic-Con, and she decided not to come to the event. She, at the last minute, was supposed to be at the panels and everything, and just decided not to show. And I can't remember if there was some excuse of illness or something like that, but she didn't come to Comic-Con when they announced Batwoman, when Batwoman was literally everywhere you walked. So to not have your lead actress, lead character, was kind of a thing. It didn't help prior to that a lot of people had, myself included, thought it was just a bad casting choice. No bad harm foul to Ruby Rose, but she did not fit the Kate Kane mold to me. She did not scream that character. Batwoman is a statuesque lady who will kick your ass. Ruby Rose, while tough, is just, she doesn't look a thing like the character at all. And it came across in how goofily the outfits looked on her. She was not a fighter. She was not someone who had trained enough, I think, for this role. She just didn't have the physicality that's needed for it. And so what happened? Flash forward. Ruby Rose is trying to do her own stunts on the show, and suddenly she ends up in the hospital due to an accident. I had an emergency neck surgery because of this accident doing her own stunts. And this comes, that's bad. And that was as recent as last October that happened. So on top of that, on the Batwoman set, you had a production assistant become paralyzed. This was March 11th of this year. We just had a production assistant be paralyzed due to a boom lift falling on her. And can you tell me if this show's cursed? Because I think it might be. I don't know. It just seems like everything in the gods above do not want Batwoman to happen. And they have gone ahead and approved a second season. But now we have the announcement from Batwoman herself that Ruby Rose is leaving the show. And according to a couple of things that I've read, one of them is Uprocks. Go check it out. There's a source on set saying that this wasn't 100% her decision, even though she did send out a classy "I'm leaving" to the media. But this person says, I quote from this source, "It wasn't 100% her decision," concedes the source close to the show. "It was a breakup. She wasn't happy working on the show, and did that make her fun to work with? No. So everyone decided it would be in the best interest of the show, and for all concerned, if they parted ways, it just wasn't a good fit." Now, I have a lot of problems with the Batwoman TV series, first of which was the fact that Ruby Rose did not act like she wanted to be there at all. And surprise, it sounds like she didn't want to be there at all. I don't like how they took the character. I don't like how they kind of just used it as an excuse to uh, bash Batman the entire show. It felt like the only person trying was Dougray Scott. The rest of the show just felt sloppy, slow. It was an excuse to get Ruby Rose to get in bed with a bunch of chicks, which kind of to me kind of defeats the purpose of, you want to take you're trying to desexualize the representation of women in series, but here you are taking a CW show and really pushing that part of it just because it's a girl. And what's interesting is the showrunner is gay, and she's the one making these decisions, and I don't understand why that would be her choices on this. Um, Part of what made Kate Kane great was her relationships with, she had her girl Renee, and you could use this Renee Montoya was fantastic in the comics, and she ended up becoming a hero herself as the Question, the female version of the Question. But they're not going there. Instead, they're using other characters and then not even following along that there's, the relationship is there for that. They're kind of just, I don't know. That's all over the place. The show is all over the place, and the ratings have just died on it over this first season, which was why I was surprised personally when I heard they were even going to be renewing it. And now they're going to be renewing it, and basically it's going to be a do-over because they are going to have to recast their lead character. Curious how that's going to play out. Personally, if I was them and you wanted to champion the cause of Batwoman, hey, you know what? Maybe do the bombshells. I love the bombshells. The bombshells are cool. This whole alternate 40s timeline thing that they did, you could bring in Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, all of them, and have them be the bombshells. Then you could have a brand new Kate Kane that looks like this, who's tall, strong, plays baseball, kicks ass. You could have that and have that really cool look to it. But I don't think the CW is going to be that smart. I think they're going to just recast her and try to gung-ho through what they've already started, which isn't working. It's not working. Your ratings have fallen and broken as hard as most of your on-set cast have. Sorry. But it was painful to watch this show. I mean, I gave it a good go on every time I tried to watch it, and it was like I'd have to stop it and just look and go, why are they doing this? Why do I care? I'm supposed to care about my lead characters here. I'm supposed to care about what's going on. And I just couldn't care because they had made Kate Kane so unlikable, and they had made just everything so boring that because nothing really happened in any episode. And their big reveal of Alice being her sister, spoilers, sorry, was given away in like episode 3 or something. Like you didn't know that was going to be how that played out. But I mean, it just, the pacing, the writing, the acting, nobody is having fun on this show. And it is apparent when your lead actress, when it's her first big major role, walks away from you and you've already almost killed her. So can't imagine. But you when your lead actress decides I'm done, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with your set. There's something wrong with your showrunner. There's something not right here. And, I was talking to my husband about this last night, and I was like, all these other CW shows, like The Flash, like sorry, I have Zinni. Like the Flash, like um, uh, you've got with the Supergirl series, even those all have a a comic book feel, and they feel like the characters. It was the same with Arrow, even though Arrow was far more, because a darker thing. They kind of but the character himself lent to that. But the problem with Batwoman, it doesn't feel like the comic. It doesn't feel like the character. It's just off, and I don't get it. It just does not feel right. So, um, I could see this coming. It surprised me that it just suddenly happened, especially with the fact that they're saying they're going to have a new season. The new season will not be starting or showing until 2021. So they've given themselves an out there with having time to find a way to recast this character. But in the end, I don't know that they're going to be able to save this show. What would it take to save this show? That the every episode has gone to nothing in ratings. If you look at the ratings for the show, Batwoman has some of the lowest ratings on the CW, if not most networks, and it's telling. When you had Crisis of Infinite Earths, how each series had their own episode, and the Batwoman episode was like barely there. It was one that had kind of more of a ratings push because of the whole crossover event. But unfortunately, because no one likes this show and everybody's kind of like bailed on it, that had one of the lowest ratings of the entire Crisis on Infinite Earths, this was basically DC's Infinity War. This is where they got all the characters together, and still no one cared enough to really tune in for Batwoman's segment. So, is this surprising? No, not really. I'm honestly surprised they continued the show. And I think when they did, I think Ruby Rose may have been surprised at the fact that it still was going, and that's why she's taking this out. So, at least props to her for knowing to bail on this, knowing that maybe she figured out she wasn't the right fit, and also that this show has a showrunner problem and a all around production issues that need to be figured out before they come back. Because when you've almost killed your lead actress and then paralyzed a production assistant during the first season, what the hell is going to happen the next season if you don't change what you're doing? The show doesn't look expensive. It looks cheap. It looks haphazard. It makes me sad because I really, really love Batwoman. I love those comics. They're some of the most beautiful comics around. I love Kate Kane as a character. She's just awesome. I have this figure because I love her. I have other Bombshell figures because I love that whole thing. There's an out. There's a way to do it to make it kind of cool again and get another actress in there, one with actual long red hair and looks like, Kate Kane, that can act and is needed for this role and is physical. And, that would be fun to do that. And then you could have other crossovers from other characters within those comic books. And it would be all this cool 1940s stuff. And, that's my idea. If you're going to continue on having it in modern Gotham, then you're going to have to up your game and put a little work into your story and find yourself an actress who wants to be there and can do the work and wants to bring it for that character and understands that character and who she is and what she represents. I think you didn't have that before. Now's your chance. I think that Batwoman deserves better than what has been given to it. I absolutely disliked the show, and I was really pissed that I didn't like it because I was excited about seeing this. I love those comics and I love those characters, and it was would have been a cool way to bring in all this really neat crossover stuff that you could have done. I mean, they even had a vampire show up in it, just like the comics did, and I didn't even watch it because at that point, it just wasn't the comics. It wasn't the character. I mean, you could make tweaks here and there if you wanted to, but it just did not feel like the what I was supposed to be getting. And it felt lacking in comparison to the other CW shows too. It didn't feel like a comic book, and it didn't even feel like anybody really knew what the source material should have been. The people that made the Flash, the people that made Supergirl, they get it. They've gotten it to the point that they're getting spinoffs now. But yeah, I in the end, in closing, Ruby Rose leaving Batwoman is not a surprise. It could be the thing that saves the show. Or the show just flat out can't be saved and she knows it, and that's why she's bailing out on it now. So she can go do other things because she's going to be coming back to John Wick. John Wick, I think they're probably going to bring her back. But, she's got other work, stuff that's actually better suited for her and her talents. So, this can either be the death knell for this show, or it's going to be the best thing that could happen. And it's a wake up call to the producers in the CW to be like, maybe we should do something different and not try to kill everybody on our set. So with that, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this. This is my thoughts on the Ruby Rose departure from the CW. If you like this, let us know. If you want to hear more of my commentaries on the news and things, let us know. Comment below. Give us a like and a follow. You can always follow me on Fangirl Magazine. Look up Fangirl Magazine on YouTube. You can find my videos on there. Also, my YouTube, not only my YouTube channel, but my podcast, Fangirl Radio, is up on iTunes and SoundCloud, and hopefully soon Spotify, if we get that all figured out. But yeah, so thank you guys. Start the movement. Tell them you want the bombshells, because this would be fun. This would be so much fun. I really, really dug these stories. And yeah, so anyway, peace out and spread the word, not the virus, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.